my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite online business podcast. I love running this fucking thing. I love it. This is my favorite way to create content. I love podcasts. So if you're listening, tuning in, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, March 16th. Welcome to mid-March. Can we take a moment and talk about this whack-ass time change? So the day I'm recording this is one day after we had the time change. Yes, I'm getting older. Cranky. But yes, I've also always hated the back and forth. Like, just pick one. I don't even care. It's like, just pick one and stick with it. Right? But also, like, I don't need to be out and about walking around at 8 p.m. Like, I get it. Some people are like, oh, it's nice because it's light out. And back when I lived in New York City, I would love that because I was working so fucking late and it's nice. But like, what's happening that late? Go home. Right? And I went for a walk last night because the time got away from me. I was working on things and suddenly I was like, oh my God, I need to go outside. And it was still light. And I was like, what am I doing out here? It's 8 o'clock. Get your ass home. So one quick announcement. Speaking of why I went for a walk so late last night, one quick announcement before I hop into the main topic for today. And that quick announcement is that I am changing the name of my other podcast. So if maybe you didn't know, but I have another podcast, a whole entire podcast called ChatGPT Curious. The new name, drum roll please, Prompting Curiosity. So if you want to hear the full story on why the name change, that episode will be live this Thursday, March 19th on that podcast, right? It's going to be episode 35. The TLDR, right, is that OpenAI's, that's the parent company for ChatGPT, their actions have just become like too bad to ignore. Right? I stay out here, talking about making a difference and building things that are worth saving. And I'm like, OpenAI, you're being the fucking worst. So one, their actions are just too big to ignore. Two, I want to future-proof myself because I could see them absolutely going after anyone that's using that name. And like, that's fair. It's like, it's their fucking thing. ChatGPT, their thing. And three, I talk about more than ChatGPT on that podcast. But I picked that name to start off with because it was the household name. It was what everyone was using. Searchable, biggest player. So I went with it. But it's no longer fitting. So it has been a pretty significant lift to change everything over because I also have a full-ass website. It's not just a podcast. I have a full-ass website. It's now promptingcuriosity.com. That's what took so long yesterday was I do self-hosting. I use WordPress, which means generating SSL certificates. It's like I have to do it manually, and it was like a little bit of an issue. And that was like why I went for a walk so late because the site was broken. It's all fixed now. But I have the whole website. I have a newsletter, there's a domain email, all the things. So it's been a few weeks in the making, right? Yes, it's a cover image for it, but there's all the branding that goes along with it and the entire website and everything. So that is going to be officially live on the 19th. It's likely when you're listening to this, it's probably already live, to be completely honest. But it's officially going to be live on the 19th. So check that out if you're interested in AI and if you had no idea that I have a whole ass resource for you. And then for anyone who does listen and was listening to ChatGPT Curious, or maybe you subscribe to that newsletter, Curious Companion, that name is staying the same. I kept that word curious strategically. I mentioned this in last week's ChatGPT Curious episode and Give Curious Companion. But I just want reminding you so that you can keep an eye out for it. It's not like a big surprise. And you're like, what is this? It downloaded, or like keep an eye out in case it doesn't get sent to you or you don't get it because the domain has changed for the email. Everything should be fine. But it is helpful for me if you keep an eye out because then if it doesn't work, I can help you and just make sure the thing. So that's the announcement. On to today's topic. And we're talking about me and my surprise signature offer. So I have been saying for the past few episodes that I will probably do an episode on my messaging services about my messaging services. And here it is. Here is that episode. So first off, signature offer. What does that mean? I've spoken about this in previous episodes, but let's get a little refresher here, right? Because this is an online business podcast and I want to teach just as much, if not more, realistically more than I want to talk about my own shit. So quick teaching here. Signature offer is the thing that you are known for, right? Two things to consider with this. One, ideally, this thing is that this is a thing that you want everyone, as an offer, a service that you want everyone and anyone to go through if they work with you. If you're like, if you do nothing else with me, do this thing. Yes, we will have other things in our product suite typically, but if we were forced to identify the best starting place for folks and subsequently the thing that gets them like the best results, the signature offer would be that thing. Number two, we do think about, because of this, somewhat the natural bottlenecking that can occur. And we need to price that signature offer accordingly and structure it accordingly, right? So regarding this bottleneck this bottleneck concept. Your signature offer is the offer that you want everyone to go through. If that structure for the signature offer only allows for like 1 or 2 people at a time, and delivery takes like a full month and it takes all your time, and then you're charging $100, that's going to be really difficult to turn into a viable business model, right? Viable business offer. So we do the math here and we think of, what do I need to charge in order for this to be sustainable and viable? Yes, market value is going to play in, like what are people willing to pay? But just I throw this out there because it's something that we consider when we are structuring and pricing that offer. So my Instagram Intensive used to be my signature offer, and that was built for volume. It was a leveraged offer. It could accommodate up to 50 people in it with no degradation in the quality, right? Bonus biz coaching tip here. When you're running live offers or things that have live component, not everyone, I'm going to move my mic here. Not everyone shows up when you have a big group for that offer. So, something like 50 people signed up for it, probably 35 people will show up. And of those, not everyone has questions. When you have smaller groups, then you tend to get the majority of the people showing up. But as things get bigger, less people showing up. So you can keep that in mind with like, hey, what am I going to cap this thing out and what can I really deliver on? All right, so if you do some simple math here, 50 people, and the price point was $500 to $600 depending on when they actually signed up. If I was to get 50 people, which I did not get every time, but just for simple math, if I was to get 50 people and max it out, that's $25,000, right? And if I launch that twice a year, that's $50,000. I know things in general feel like monopoly money, especially student loans. You're like, God, a lot of commas there, all right? But $50,000 is great for a signature offer. Right? Because you're probably going to be selling other things. And even if you're not selling other things, you could look to just put all of your eggs in that basket and look to scale it and just run it more times a year. Yes, you would need more leads, right? But it's doable in the math, right? You're not like, okay, I only can get 3 people in and I make, $1,000 each time. And like, it takes all my time, right? So you see the maths with this. Changing directions here a little bit, right? Because that's a leverage offer. One-on-one can absolutely be your signature offer. Fuck yes. But yes, you and your time will ultimately be the bottleneck, the true bottleneck. But that's okay depending on what you're charging and what the thing is, right? And this is a fun fact and a fun segue. This is what I'm moving back to, I should say. Oftentimes in the online space, we see folks wanting to go from one-to-one into this group or leveraged model, right? It works particularly well in any business that has like delivery of information as their primary service. It's difficult. So if you're like teaching people how to do things, works great. If you're actually helping people do things, it doesn't work as well, right? So you're teaching people about mindset. You're teaching people about movement, right? That leverages much better than if you are doing like fitness coaching, right? Because you're not teaching them about fitness coaching. You're like holding their hand, programming for them, right? You can't leverage it in the same way because it's such a group offer for that. Right? Because you can teach people information at scale. You can do small group for like when you're providing the direct service and accountability, but like when you're teaching, that's the thing you can really scale. So I've always loved one-to-one. It's my background. I'm a physical therapist, right? And I've always kept one-on-one in my product suite because of this, because I love it, right? And primarily as the Maestro meetings. I still do ongoing coaching, but people come through first for a Maestro meeting. So when I rolled out the new messaging services a few weeks ago, all of the offers and services were one-to-one. There was no group offers at all. And while I will likely offer some sort of workshop or webinar in the future, that leveraged format, in my opinion, is not the best way to deliver help for people regarding messaging, right? Which is why I didn't roll it out. But I get people need to like dip their toe and things like that. So I'll probably roll it out at some point, but it's not going to be the main thing, right? I'm not looking to make like a messaging group coaching thing. Like that ain't it, right? So a little backstory on my new signature offer. As I was looking for what I wanted to help people with over these past 16, 18 months, looking for what I want to be helping people with, Lex and I have been chatting, and she said that folks in her ecosystem needed help with messaging on their website. Right? In case you don't know, you're new to the show, Lex is my girlfriend. She specializes in Squarespace website design and SEO for brick and mortar health and wellness businesses. So she's always known what I do in my services, my offers, and my coaching, and how we have an offer together, a mastermind that we run together. She knows how I coach. She knows what I do with people. And she's been saying for a while that my services would be helpful for her people. So I rolled out a beta offer for them. a website messaging audit. Every single page of the website, complete, top to bottom audit of their messaging. I did 3 spots just to see if I enjoyed it. Spoiler, fucking loved it. And thus was born my new signature offer. Surprise. So fun fact, my Instagram intensive became my signature offer in a very similar fashion in that I didn't set out with the intent of it becoming my signature offer. I actually hadn't even built it at all. I didn't anticipate or think about selling it at all. I sold a self-paced course. It's called Instagramming with the Maestro. And folks said that they wanted more help and more support. So I was like, what? But I'm selling this thing. So I rolled out the intensive. And then I wound up running it for 6 years. I retired the self-paced course. I couldn't keep up with it. And I went all in on the intensive and wound up running it, like I said, for 6 years, took 500 plus people through it. And it's funny how that happens. I talk about this though with my coaching. I'm like, you typically don't know what your signature offer is going to be. You make things and then you try them out and you're like, wow, this becomes the thing. And that's exactly what's happening again. So I rolled out the beta version of the website messaging audit. I did those 3 spots, lectured it with their people, and they snatched it up real quick. 2 of the folks I had actually previously worked with in some capacity, and 1 not at all, brand new to me. Y'all, when I tell you that I had an absolute goddamn blast with those 3 audits, and the feedback, y'all. 1 said that she had spent years trying to niche down and literally redid her website with the new niche that day after my feedback. 1 was a brick and mortar business owner. And after implementing the changes, she went from 1 online booking in that week to 7. Other factors likely at play, but come on now, right? I'm always hesitant to lead with results-based marketing because you can't promise it for everyone, but it is possible. Look, something happened there, something to be said there. And the 3rd one said that it was one of the best things she's done, and she was going to shout me out. She told Lex this, and she was like, I was going to shout Shantae out in the call, but I wasn't sure if she was still offering it. Spoiler, I am definitely still offering it, and it is the new signature offer. So, when is it? Website messaging audit is exactly what it sounds like. I look at the messaging on your entire website and give you feedback. What's working, what's not working, and exactly how to change it. This is entirely through the lens of your goals, right, which I ascertained from an intake call that we do and a comprehensive ass intake form. I love a comprehensive intake form. I've always used them. Big fan. So structure-wise, how this offer runs. When you pay for the service, you book a 30-minute intake call, right, for a specific date. After the payment's received, you get a confirmation email automatically and a link to that super comprehensive intake form. It takes, from what people have told me, at least an hour. Some people will dive into it more, but at least an hour to fill that out and answer all the questions. We then meet. We have our intake call, and that call is literally just to get familiar with you and your personality. If I have any questions from the intake form, I can ask them then, but it's really just who are you? What are you about? What's your vision? What are your goals? I implemented this call. I didn't do it for the beta rounds. And part of that was I already worked with these people, but it's definitely would be really helpful for me, I believe, if I got to meet with people. So I put the call in there. I think that part of my skill set and part of what I do really well is getting to know people and feel what their magic is and hear it and see it. And it's really helpful to have a live call. So that's why I started off with the live call. From there, I go and do the audit, right? We have the 30-minute call. I'm off to the races after that. You go hang out and I go and audit your website on my own. It's an asynchronous model in that regard over the course of a 2-week window. I am looking at overall clarity, avatar, audience alignment, voice presence, voice consistency, and my favorite, what I call intent impact congruence. So does what you're trying to communicate actually land the way that you want it to? Oftentimes, no. All right. How I run this part, I think is the game changer and really allows me to deliver my best work. In case you don't know, I am a super night owl. I will be up till 2 or 3 a.m. when I'm really in the zone with things. I love live coaching calls, but the time constraints of that don't allow me to go as deep with things. It doesn't allow my brain to work in the same way, right? I argue with myself. I write all the things on my whiteboard. It's actually a black glass board. I really dissect and inspect things. I can't do that when I'm on a 90-minute call, 60-minute call. this asynchronous model where I have 2 weeks, I can do that. And I fucking love it. From there, I deliver the actual audit to you, and the audit has 3 assets. One is a video overview that I walk you through my findings. The second is a written report with my key recommendations. And the third, and this is my favorite, it is specific feedback that's pinned directly on your website. And I use a software that I found called Ruddle, and I'm obsessed with it. It's like the fucking best, all right? From there, you get 2 weeks of email access to me to implement, ask all the questions, refine your shit, get more feedback on anything that you have updated. It is fucking awesome. I love this service, and it hits 3 things that, in my opinion, make it such a solid offer. And one is that it gives me time to really dive in. It gives me space to be like, let me go deep with your stuff. 2, it gives you time to actually implement and get support with that implementation. Y'all know action, the love language of mine. I find that oftentimes you give people these big reports and they just don't do anything with it. This gives you 2 weeks and I'm like, let's go. We're doing this together. Third, speaking of these long ass reports, but the 3-part approach to feedback means that it's not overwhelming. All right, so it's not a 32-page report that you aren't going to do shit with. The video is 5 to 7 minutes long. The written report is only 2 pages long. It's a preset PDF that I made and I fill in the spots. It's a fillable PDF. It's only 2 pages max. And then you have the Ruddle feedback, which is the pinned comments that show you exactly what I'm referencing. And then they provide you suggestions on how exactly to change it, improve it. And we can go back and forth with that, right? And you actually get 60 days of access to that before that project gets deleted. Y'all, I'm fucking hype about it. All right, so if we take a step back for a second and think about why looking at someone's website can be such a bang for your buck approach. Namely, I recommend, from the coaching perspective, I recommend to everyone and anyone that I coach with that they build out their website as early as possible when starting their online business. It was one of the first things I did with my first site, and then I got my next site. Now I have 4 sites. I have 3 sites right now, or actually 2. I have the Maestro, Moving Maestro, and what will become Prompting Curiosity. All right, but I built it out right from the beginning. And the reason I recommend that anyone and everyone do that from the get-go, and this is for in-person business as well, but I specialize in online business, but it forces you to get your shit together, right? It forces you to get your ideas and your words and put them into one place. Who are you? Who do you help? What's your approach? What do you offer? What do you believe? All of that in one place, right? So given that, hopefully you can see how auditing a website can provide such valuable insight and feedback that can be used then across your entire business and your entire ecosystem. So messaging, right? What exactly is messaging? When I say I'm doing a messaging audit, well, quite simply stated, messaging is communication. So when I'm auditing, I'm looking at how effectively you are communicating with your people, which means you have to have established who your person is, who your people are. For many, many, many folks, particularly folks in the online space, that is the biggest issue. And that's what I help people out with the most, right? When folks hear the word messaging, they oftentimes think of copy. Maybe you yourself watching this, listening to this, you use that messaging and you're like, oh, copy. Copy is written communication, right? It is a type of messaging. The biggest issue that I see with many, many, many folks in the online space is something that I have spent pretty much every single Maestro meeting going over and every single Instagram intensive helping people with, which is who are you talking to, right? Identifying specifically, who are you talking to? Who is your avatar? What is your niche? Right? You can have the right words, quote unquote, but if it's for the wrong person, doesn't matter. Not going to help you. I have full certainty that for many folks who go through the website messaging audit, their most impactful takeaway will be that I identify their niche and their audience. I have done it for years. And I have circled the drain on like creating an offer that's like the avatar identification offer. And that's essentially what this is. I've done it for years. I've done it for hundreds of folks. It's got to be in the thousands, like over 1,000 by now. But like it sounds like such a fake number that I'm like, it's definitely hundreds. But I can say with full confidence that I can do this for you if you need help. Worth noting that as I'm saying this, like, it's important to note that this is a collaborative effort, right? Which is why I have the intake call and that comprehensive ass intake form, because it's not some like Miss Cleo thing where I'm like, I'm going to tell you who your person is. No, the process fully involves you and you specifying the type of person you want to work with and the type of problems you want to solve. I just refine it. I identify it, and then I give you specific language for it. All right, that's all. So circling back to the signature offer piece, which is how we started the episode. This offer, this website messaging audit, lands squarely as a signature offer because it is the best starting point for people who want help with their messaging. Right? Again, your website is the home for your business, or at least it should be. Instagram is not a home. And I know that many of you, maybe you've evolved and you're like, man, my Instagram has kept up with who I am, but my website, not great. That's also a great reason to have an audit. If you're like, man, I got to update this thing. Great. Audit's great. Let's get some language around this. And then you can update it and I'll give you feedback in real time as well. All right, 2 weeks of support. Instagram, though, just understand that's not a home for your business. You don't own it. You should really feel this amidst all the shit that's going on. You don't own that. Don't park your business there. Right? But on your website, you have who you are. Who do you help? What's your approach? What do you actually offer? What do you believe? That's a big one. All of that in one place, which means that any feedback provided there can then be used everywhere. You can use it in your emails, in your social posts, use it to improve your offers. Use it for any content that you make anywhere, right? Because it gives you clear direction. Who are you talking to? And then it gives you language, right? Specifically, what language and what things are going to land with your audience, because we've clearly established who your audience is and subsequently what they care about. All right. Again, I've done this process with hundreds of people and I'm excited talking about this. I'm like, wow, I have a thing for the thing I've been doing. I never pushed the Maestro meetings that much. And because I didn't have language around it. And I was also doing other things, but this is what I would go over in every single call. And like, this is what it is, but it gives me more time to sit with it, to really dive deep. And then it gives you time and support to actually implement. Like I say, I'm super excited to have it as a starting point for anyone who wants help with their messaging. So the price, the investment, $697, right? I am not your CPA. I'm not in your money. I'm not you. So I can't say whether you view that as a steal or not. In the industry, it is. But I can't say how it feels for you. What I can say is that I will 100% be raising the price for that over time as I get more people through it and I get more testimonials and I, really solidify how I want to deliver it. And this is not a matter of, demand increased, so now I'm going to increase the price. No, it's tacky. This is a matter of pricing the offer to match the service that is being provided and delivered and the amount of time that it takes to deliver that service. Right now, I'm underpricing, I'm undercharging it. That's how you start, right? Business lesson number 80 billion here. That's how you start. I am devoting way more time than I'm charging for both things, between the actual audit itself, or say all the things, between the audit itself, the call, and the 2 weeks of support. I am undercharging, I'm underpricing that. Right? And I'm not saying this to justify the price, but rather to encourage y'all to fucking sign up if you're interested. Something that I've always said is that earliest adopters get the best deals. Always. I go downstairs to my gym and literally every day I got this leg extension it's a leg extension and leg curl. And I got it for $499. That thing sits now at like $799, between $799 and like $800 on Titan's website. It's the same exact machine. They haven't changed shit on it. Right? But I got it in the beginning when it was before it was up and coming, and I'm fucking stoked about it. Do I think it's a little bit overpriced? Yes, I do. But also, I am happy because I was an early adopter with it. And that's what I want for you. Right? I love to reward my earliest adopters, and typically that is through the price, right? So I have an idea of where I want this service to land at price-wise. And it is way more than it is right now. But I'm fucking happy as hell to be delivering it. And if you're interested, I want to help you, right? All right, I'm looking at the time. Let's wrap this up because it's getting long. Again, big stoked to be offering this new website messaging audit service and have it be, the surprise signature offer. I just I can't say enough good things about it. Clearly, this is why I love having a podcast, because I believe you can really see and hear and feel like what that person is experiencing. And I'm excited about this, right? So if you're ready to sign up and you're like, yeah, let me get this, let me save some money, the link is in the show notes. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Jojo. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, The Movement Maestro. Shoot me a text, 310-737-2345. Or you can submit a little inquiry on my website. We will link that as well. Hit me up. I got answers for you. And I'd love to help you. All right. Gonna wrap it up there. Gonna go finish up an audit. As always, endlessly, one more time, folks, endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.